Hi, I'm Justin Wink, Ph.D., and you're listening to the Engineering Emotions and Energy Podcast. Are you ready to bust burnout, pursue your passion, have more time, money, energy, and relationships you actually love, including the relationship with yourself? If so, then this podcast is for you. I'm a best-selling author, coach, consultant, speaker, and a leader in transforming people's lives from living in fear, obligation, and guilt to living a life of joy, ease, and love. What's most important is that I can teach you all this in a way that's enjoyable, easy, fast, and can actually last. Let's begin. Welcome to the show. Today, I am talking about how your filters shape the world you live in. That's right. What you allow yourself to take in, what you let yourself see, actually brings out whatever you end up seeing. And a lot of people think like the world is this way. The world's this way because that's how you choose to see it. And this became very apparent to me recently as, before I get into that, do want to remind you that if you're looking to maybe get some new filters for your world, to check out my Ideal Life Accelerator, where you have an opportunity to do some one-on-one hot seat coaching with me. So go to justinwink.com/ideallifex for acceleration, even though there's no X in accelerator. I just have a hard time spelling accelerator. So I make it easy and I just made it an X. So check that out. So back to how filters shape your world and dictate the world you actually get to enjoy, look at, and see. We have filters going on all the time. If you could literally see anything and everything that was going on, you couldn't function. So filters are necessary. And what do I mean by a filter? Effectively, so this is a little bit where my electrical engineering background can come into play, be helpful to, So there's filters in, audio. Let's, for example, there's certain filters. So most common is something called like a low pass filter, which everything has a frequency. So this isn't woo-woo shit. This is like literal, like sound is things are vibrating around. The visual spectrum is there's vibrations. How our cell phones work is portions of the electromagnetic spectrum that have a different frequency. So some things are at higher frequencies, some things are at lower frequencies. And so when we're talking like audio, for example, the human voice or what people can hear is usually somewhere from around a few hertz up into, if you got really good hearing, I think maybe someone with like the best hearing it's no more than 20 kilohertz. And as people have, go through damaged hearing, things like that, the frequency comes down to like, 14 kilohertz, something. I'm sure somebody's going to let me know, like, Justin, you're way off. You're off by. Point is, it's not up into the megahertz. You can't hear megahertz. But what does happen is sometimes there ends up being, high frequency noise can get into things. And so if you can hear those higher frequencies, but like the human voice, I don't know what the peak of actual human voice is, but it's not up into those, tens of kilohertz necessarily. So it's like, all right, well, we'll just, cut off everything that's at a higher frequency. So then if there's any high frequency, high pitched noise, should be really annoying. We'll just cut that out. No big deal. Be super easy. And so you use a low pass filter so that you can ignore all that stuff that there's nothing useful there to you, or you believe so. And we do this all the time. With another good example, for some reason, I guess I'm podcasting, I'm just going naturally audio. Like you're in a crowded restaurant and, you're sitting across from somebody, but then there's someone to your left and your right, and they're talking to each other, but you want to talk to the person across from you. Now, both conversations are technically being able to be heard, but you're filtering out the conversations happening to your left and to your right and focusing solely on the one coming from the person directly across from you. So you are filtering out based off of the content and the context, this other conversation. So there's multiple ways that we can filter things. And I got to see a really cool example of filtering with the most recent solar eclipse. This eclipse happened on Saturday, October 14th. So it peaked around 9:20 a.m., started around 8:30, something like that. And it had been a while since I'd seen a solar eclipse. I can't really remember how long. And one of the things they tell you is don't look directly at the sun because it'll damage your eyes. The sun is very powerful. So don't look directly at the sun. It's very powerful. It can damage your eyes. So that goes, well, then how the fuck do you see the solar eclipse? Well, there are special glasses you can get that have a proper filter that filters out enough of those harmful rays so that you can see some of it, yet you're not getting too much that it's going to blast you out. This also filters out just about all the other visual light, and you can't see anything just about other than the sun. And it was one of these when I first got the glasses. If you got a chance to watch the video somewhere or whatever. So here I am. I've got my solar eclipse glasses on, and these are filtering out anything but the brightest of sunlight. So effectively, I see absolutely nothing now. So I'm sure I look awesome. I even found like a sticker that I put on the side. I can't remember if it's this side or the other side, but a sticker from when I was a kid that says Justin. I put on the side because I'm like, these are my fucking sun staring glasses. And so I could stare at the brightest lamp in my room. I could stare at anything, and I can't see anything. I just see darkness. I just see the glasses. Yet when I stare at the sun, I see what is a relatively comfortable, beautiful golden sphere. And when the eclipse is on, I see a little chunk taken out of that sphere by the moon passing over. A little fun fact I learned is that apparently there ends up being a solar eclipse somewhere on this planet once a year, yet you have to be at a particular place on the planet to be able to see this. So depending on where you live, your frequency of seeing a solar eclipse is going to vary dramatically. And it was just so wild. And it was fun because I met up with a friend. I was like, hey, you want to go check out this? I've got some extra glasses. We'd walk along and some people are like, hey, what's going on? It's like, it's an eclipse. Do you want to see? And just about everybody would go like, oh, yeah, I'll check it out, and pass them these fun looking glasses. And they put them on and they look and they're like, oh my gosh, wow, that is incredible. I had no idea that was going, because without the glasses, while the eclipse is going on, you look up and about all you just see is just blinding whatever. It's just too much. It's just too much. You can't handle it. And so sometimes I'm going to take these off now, as cool as they are. Sometimes that's what is happening in our life, where sometimes we can't see, sometimes maybe something we need to see or want to see because we're maybe too open. We're allowing too much in. And maybe we need to close off a little bit so then we can focus in on something a little bit more. Because what these glasses effectively are doing is allowing us to block off everything else and just focus on something that is like, oh my God, yeah, I want to be able to see this and concentrate on this and understand what's going on. And we can do that with other parts of our lives. And, an example is anything that you really want to focus on. It can be good to put the filter on and just go like anything extraneous is going away. And I'm about to do that right now. Actually, I'm getting ready to have a focus on, I've already started writing another book, and I'm going to do a week-long book writing intensive. This will actually be my third one. So I did two in preparation for the best-selling Engineered to Love, Going Beyond Success to Fulfillment, using practical tools to relax, recharge, and reconnect. So Amazon bestseller, you can get on Amazon. The audiobook's also available. Highly recommended, engineeredtolove.com. So that I wrote over, well, there was lots of other times, but the majority was written in 1 week during a book writing intensive. And a lot of people hear this and they're like, how the fuck can you do that? That sounds ridiculous. It's got to be, it's really well done. And it's all about the filters and the focus. Because in that 1 week, just about everything that does not support the writing of a book gets set aside. It's not important. And the most important thing is writing the book. And I'm about to do that again because I've started writing a book. I don't want to say too much. I've done a little teaser on my social media. So Justin Wink, Ph.D. on, your finer platforms of misinformation, whatever you want to call them. I did a little teaser about if I was going to write another book that's a novel, what should it be? Should it be an action, an adventure, or a porno? And that makes me laugh because that was a line out of a movie called Orgasmo, which if you know South Park and Trey Parker and Matt Stone, they did a movie around the time South Park started getting going called Orgasmo, where someone ends up making a action adventure porno. And so we'll see what I end up writing. I'll say more once more is written, and I'm getting ready to write a significant amount of it over the course of the next week. So I'm putting basically effectively solar glasses on so that I will, with these glasses that are for looking at the sun for an eclipse, I can only see the sun and what is happening there. And I'm about to do that with only seeing what supports the writing of the book. And sometimes it's all about the getting stuff out, but then sometimes we need to shift our filter so that we can see something different, or maybe expand out, see something more. And a recent case of this has to do with parking and street sweeping. So, many of you, maybe this isn't a thing where you live, because if you're somewhere rural or suburban, there's just plenty of parking, and maybe you don't even drive. Yet I drive, and I go into San Francisco and other parts. And so a big thing is they'll have street sweeping, usually once a week. And so they put signs up that say no parking because street sweeping happens. And this has not been an issue for me for like over a year. It's usually been no big deal, where I'm just like, I go somewhere and I park and no big deal. Yet recently on Thursday, and you're going to want to stick with this because there's a point, and the point is going to really make it easy for you to understand like maybe why things happen and you're frustrated, and it can help you be not so frustrated when we start to see that sometimes things are happening to help us shift our filters when we're not really paying attention and need to pay attention. And so I was going to go get I had to go get some medical lab work done. So I drive to the lab. There's this great parking spot right in front. I'm like, this is fantastic. This is so good. Yes, what a lucky day. And I get out, and this gentleman's working on his car. I don't know. He could be a horrible person for all I know. I don't know why I called him a gentleman. I don't know. A human goes, hey, it's can't park there right now. And he points behind me, and I look back, see the street sweeping sign that says basically from 9 to 11 on Thursdays, no parking here. And it's that time. I can't park there. So I go, all right, thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for the help, making sure I don't get a ticket. See, people are generally nice and helpful. And I park my car somewhere else. And then I walk to the lab, get in, and the lab is closed for their lunch hour, which is before noon. I was there like at 11:15 or something. And I'm like, okay, this sucks. So I go to Target. I need to get some other sunglasses, not the solar kind, but some real sunglasses. Cause, when I was on my way to Vegas, my pair of sunglasses broke, and I had another pair, but I don't really like them. So I needed some new ones. So it kind of worked out, because otherwise I probably wouldn't have gone to the Target to get the glasses if that hadn't happened. I didn't I don't want to go home. I'll just wait it out, go get what I need to get done at Target. Although I don't recommend Target. They have stuff, and I needed stuff. So I don't endorse that. If you don't like Target, I don't care. They had stuff. I needed stuff. So I went to the place with stuff, but I'm not endorsing Target. So if you hate Target, great. If you love Target, great. I don't care about Target. I just needed the stuff. And sometimes things don't have to be more complicated than that. Sometimes you just got to get something taken care of so you can then take care of more important things, like writing a book, right? Or doing a podcast, or being kind to people. Just sometimes there's more important things in life. So I got that done. Then I got my lab work done. So cool, right? No big deal. And you're like, okay, Justin, where is this going? Stick with me. You're gonna see. It's gonna be phenomenal. It's gonna be great. It's gonna pay off. It's gonna be a payoff. So the next day, a friend of mine, he lives on like the outskirts of San Francisco, but he's been working in the downtown at a WeWork. He's like, hey, you want to come join me at the WeWork? Again, I don't endorse WeWork. I don't care about WeWork. I think they went bankrupt. I think I got to see why. I mean, the amount of real estate they're invested in, it's like, how do you afford this? Apparently they couldn't. Anyway, so I was going to meet him at his place, and then we were going to take public transit in to the city, because that's what you do in a city. You take public transit. You don't drive all the time. I still like to drive a lot. Anyway, so I go to my buddy's place, and I go to park, and I'm noticing the street sweeping signs. because my filter has been adjusted to notice street sweeping signs. And right in front of his street, it says, this is street sweeping time. Just my luck. Just my luck. From the time I get there for the next 2 hours, going to be street sweeping. And so I'm driving around looking for spots. And now I'm going to be 5 or 10 minutes late. And I'm like, hey, it's street sweeping time. I'm having a hard time and finding parking. And he's like, oh, shit. I got to let my girlfriend know her car's parked. So he lets her know. And so she gets up. He comes out, hops in, and we find a spot. And he helps me park because I find just like the most challenging spot to get into. And once we park, we start walking to the bus stop. And we see the meter maid there to give tickets to people. She'd just given, or he, I didn't check, but meter maid anyway. They had just given, we'll use they, a singular they. They had just given a parking ticket to someone, and they were just about to drive up to where my buddy's girlfriend's car was, and she just pulls away, and the meter maid goes past. And it's just one of those things where I had been annoyed that I'd run across the parking, no parking thing before, but it was kind of at that moment I was like, oh, interesting. My filter had been adjusted so that then I would notice it, so I wouldn't get a ticket. And then also I could get the information so that then this other person wouldn't get a ticket. And how cool is that? And so when things maybe aren't going your way, it might just be a message to pay attention to something you haven't been paying attention to. That maybe there's something up with your filter. It's filtering something out that is actually very important for you to start paying attention to. So instead of getting upset and frustrated of like, why is this happening to me? Shift it and go like, how is this happening for me? What am I now noticing that I wasn't noticing before? Because really a lot of our world, a lot of our life is just these degrees of what do we need to pay attention to? And then what do we need to discard? Because when we're in alignment, when we're taking in what is useful and we're ignoring what is not useful, that's when the magic can happen. That's when we can do amazing things in so little time. And that's when we can enjoy and take in the magic, the beauty of this world, of what's possible, and allow it to come out, whatever is meant to come out. That's going to most light us up and bring joy to those around us. And so if you're like, oh, things seem to be too much, maybe it's time to put some more filters up and like block some more stuff out. And maybe, because the thing is, these glasses are fantastic if I want to see a solar eclipse. Yet if I want to do anything else, if I want to drive my car, if I want to walk around, I'm going to be hitting stuff and it's going to be painful. And I could be like, why does the world just keep doing this to me? Rah, 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 rah. Or I could take it as a signal that, hey, maybe it's time to take the glasses off and see something more and work with what's actually going on. And whatever's going on is often based off of what you're choosing to focus on, what you're placing your attention in. So this is just another dimension of where you can place your attention, because the last episode was all about how your attention is the most valuable thing that you have in your possession. And this episode really is about, where can you be placing that attention, starting to get a little bit more subtle, a little bit more sophisticated with your attention. So with that, how is this landing? What's something in your life that maybe you need to do some filtering out, or maybe what's something where you need to open up to some more information? Let me know. podcast@justinwink.com or on social medias, Justin Wink, Ph.D., TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and you can also check out YouTube. And I also would encourage you to check out the Ideal Life Accelerator, justinwink.com/ideallife. Some free one-on-one hot seat coaching till the end of 2023. So check that out. It's good stuff. So if you've never experienced what it's like to be coached, and especially if you haven't been coached by me, because I am phenomenal. Nobody does it the way I do it. Just my ability to quickly get to the heart and bring a new perspective. It's basically shifting your filters. If you really actually want to experience it, really highly suggest you get one of these coveted hot seats. So with that, justinwink.com/ideallifex for accelerator. All right. With that, I'm going to end this episode. Take care and a good day.